You know, if you just got yourself a new weapon or you're starting to train on an old weapon, something you didn't really train on as much as you thought you should in the past, there's one thing that you absolutely need to always take into consideration and to remember. I was active duty Marine and we were taught treat, never keep, keep. Now, this is gun safety rules. I think a lot of times when we get all this gear, whether it's EDC gear, it's training gear, whatever the case may be, is a lot of times we forget the basics. And the basics are the thing that keeps us out of a pickle. Whether you're a collector or if you're getting this to be a better prepared citizen, you're getting this a part of your EDC, your everyday carry, or whatever the case may be, you should remember some of these things because I think they can be critical. So the first one is treat every weapon as if it were loaded. I agree with that. I'm gonna give you my caveats on some of that stuff. This is an airsoft gun. You see the little orange tip on the back there. It still has a magazine because it does shoot airsoft, but it is not loaded or whatever. But the thing is like, if you have a weapon in your possession and it leaves your hand, you should absolutely always treat it as if it were loaded, especially if you're a novice. But if you're more advanced, you should know the status of your weapon. Now, I just pulled this airsoft weapon out of my bike, so I didn't remember the status. At least I thought I knew the status, which is there are no pellets in it, it should be empty, etc., etc. But even if it's my weapon, I don't know what could have happened since the last time I had it in my hands. And you should be the same way as well, especially if you're on the range. You should be that way, absolutely. So you should always treat a weapon as if it were loaded. Now, there are caveats to that. Before I go to the second one, let's talk about some caveats. Imagine that you have a threaded barrel and you want to put a suppressor on a weapon. If you're trying to modify it, if you're trying to take it apart to clean it, but obviously you can't treat a weapon as if it were loaded if it's any of those things. But generally, if you're brand new to this, same thing I'm doing right now with my wife and some of my kids, I'm not even going to tell them the more advanced caveats. I'm just talking straight up and down the things you should do for the first safety rule. Number 2 is never point a weapon at anything you do not intend to shoot. So, shouldn't point a weapon at my foot, shouldn't point a weapon at my arm. I shouldn't be looking to see, hey, did I leave my laser on? Is the red dot illuminated? You're pointing it at your finger or whatever. Don't do that. Don't point your weapon at anything you do not intend to shoot, because that is the number one way to get a negligent discharge, and you are responsible for that. You should always know exactly where the barrel, the muzzle of the weapon is pointed, because you have to know exactly what you're doing. You're getting so enthusiastic about collecting these weapons or having the newest Glock, Beretta, Smith & Wesson, whatever on your hip. You should know the status of it. And once you know the status, you shouldn't be pointing it or brandishing it at anything that you do not intend to shoot. Number 3, keep your fingers straight and off the trigger until you are ready to fire. Okay, this is a very novice technique. That means that even if you're already pointing at the target that you want to engage, you still absolutely should keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Even at the point where, well, obviously the sights are aligned, the target is blurry, I'm ready to rock and roll, you're still keeping your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire, just to be safe. Now, caveat to that, an advanced technique is that when you're a little bit more advanced, you're gonna work the trigger or decompress the trigger as you come up to your target, but that's not something you teach into a novice. So if you see it done in movies where NCIS, or if you're watching Law and Order, you're watching some action movie, you just got done watching Mission Impossible, you see them come up with their finger already in the trigger, A, it's a movie, and B, that is an advanced technique where you're prepping the trigger as you come up to engage a target. But you, the guy that just got his new favorite weapon, let's just not do that. Let's just not do that. Number 4, now this is number 4 from the Marine Corps' method, which is keep your weapon on safe until you intend to fire. So, although this is an airsoft weapon, it still has a safety on it. So you're supposed to keep it on safe until you are ready to fire. Now, I am actually flipping, you can hear it here, I'm flipping the safety on this airsoft weapon with my thumb, because I've done everything, right? I have it aimed down range, sights are set, target is blurry, got my eyes on the iron sights, let the safety go, boom, let the round go down range. But there's an additional one, which we didn't learn in the Marine Corps, but you should know as well if you're a prior Marine, still active duty, or if you're just a guy, okay? If you're just a guy, You should identify your target and know what's beyond your target. This has to do with the real world scenarios. If my target right now is somebody that's on that bike behind me, so it's a bad guy, he's on a bike behind me, I identify the target, but what's behind it? There is a fence, there could be a house, there could be a pool. A lot of times, especially with pistol rounds, it has pass through. So once you hit your target, it tends to go through and keep going. And statistically, people miss a whole lot when they're shooting, especially if they're in a high stress scenario. So you may be in a situation where it makes no sense whatsoever to engage that target because you're absolutely not ready for the target whatsoever. So for me, if I'm off body carrying, if I'm going to be going for my weapon or whatever the case may be, I need to know exactly what's going on with my real weapon. So as I draw my real weapon, which this has rounds in it, one thing I will say is as you go through to clear your weapon, one thing you will notice a lot, and I'll do it again. So if you have a round actually in the weapon itself and you know the status of your weapon, although it's cool, you should avoid catching your ammo as you discharge it. So as I take the magazine out, I put it in my back pocket, I rack it twice, a round comes out, I don't catch it. Let it fall to the ground. The reason that I do that is so that if I go to catch it, there's a possibility that I brandish, I'm waving at somebody else on the line. Just don't do that, okay? So it keeps the weapon pointed down range. Absolutely the safest way to go. You can visually inspect, you can take a look in there. You absolutely know that the weapon is safe. But this is a real weapon, right? And as I was saying earlier, imagine I have a threaded barrel. I want to suppress it. I want to take it apart. The whole treat every weapon as if it were loaded kind of goes out the window, because in order to do any maintenance to this weapon, I have to engage with the barrel, the muzzle itself, because obviously I would never, this is a 360-degree world. We live around stuff. There's just no way that I could do maintenance to my weapon if I were following rule number one instinctively. So I do give a caveat for that. Even when it comes to the decompressing the trigger and all that other type of stuff early, I give that caveat as well. But I just say, train with your stuff. We get so much of this gear, whether it's new bags, whether it is pepper gel, whether it is weapons, whatever you get, you should train with it, know how to use it, and make sure that it's to your advantage and you're not harming anyone else unless you intend to. Put some comments down below. What are some things that you see people do, whether at firing ranges, if they are just looking at a weapon at a store, whatever. What are you seeing people do that you absolutely know they're dumb for? If you like training videos like this for your everyday carry type of stuff, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.